warfare are not carnal. What does that mean? Let's go and get into it, family. Let me go to this scripture. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim, to the pulling down of strongholds. So the weapons of our warfare are not physical. The weapons of our warfare are not earthly. It don't come from man. It don't come from man's strength. It don't come from your physical ability. It comes from the power of the Most High Yah in faith in Yahshua HaMashiach. Let me show you what I mean. Paul is not talking about fighting in the battle. He's not talking about those who go to war with weapons. Paul is talking about we pull down strongholds, not by anything that is carnal, not by the will of man, not by flesh and blood, but by the power of the Most High Yah, by the power of Yahshua HaMashiach. But I want to show you something. All our ancestors fought battles and they had weapons, but they did not put their trust in the weapons. It was the power of the Most High that got them the victory, even though they had the weapons. When you look at nations today, the weapons of their warfare are carnal because they put their trust in guns and tanks and missiles and grenades. But the children of Israel, it is not so. We don't put our trust in horses. We don't put our trust in man. We don't put our trust in man's physical ability. We put our trust in the Most High Yah to get us the victory, even though we are fighting a battle in war with weapons. What do you mean, KJ? Let's go take a look at it. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 8 through 16. This is Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 8 through 16. And it reads, Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek tomorrow. And I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of our Elohim, no, with a sword. With the rod of our Elohim, no, with a sword. With the rod of our Elohim in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said unto him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hands, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hands, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. And they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. No, the sword gave them the victory. Now, see, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Even though Joshua is fighting with a sword, it's the power of the Most High that got Joshua the victory. It's the power of that rod that Moses was holding that got Joshua the victory. Because the Most High put his power in the rod that Moses had. It's the same rod that destroyed the Egyptians and brought 10 plagues upon the people. So Joshua holding the sword didn't have anything to do with them getting the victory. Even though he's fighting with a weapon, it's the power of the Most High who's behind the weapon that gives Israel their victories. Verse 13, and Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar, and called the name of it Jehovah Nasi. For he said, Because I Elohim have sworn that Elohim will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So how did Joshua discomfort Amalek? Was it by his sword? Was it by his physical ability? No, it was by the power of the Most High Yah. So it's not anything carnal. It is not anything physical. It is not flesh and blood. So when Paul made this statement, like right now, we teach Yah's word. I don't have a sword in my hand. I don't have a gun in my hand. I pulled down the strongholds through the spirit of the Most High Yah in faith in Yahshua. And we do it by his power, not by weapons that we are holding in our hand. Because when you look at the nations, they put all their ability and their trust and their physical ability, they put it in their weapons, whether that's guns, whether that's tanks, whether that's missiles. All nations do this because the weapons of their warfare are carnal, because that's what they put their trust in. They don't even know that whoever gets the victory in the battle is still the Most High Yah, because he know these nations are carnal. He know they put their trust in weapons and missiles and guns and bombs and tanks. But Israel, we don't do that. We don't put our trust in these things. Let me go to Numbers chapter 21. We're going to look at this again. This is a time when Moses and the children of Israel was fighting Sihon, king of the Amorites. Let's see who got them the victory. This is Numbers chapter 21 and verse 21 through 26. Numbers chapter 21 and verse 21 through 26. And it reads, Israel sent messengers to say to Sihon, king of the Amorites, let us pass through your country. We would not turn aside into any field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We would travel along the king's highway until we had passed through your territory. But Sihon would not let Israel pass through his territory. He mustered his entire army and marched out into the wilderness against Israel. When he reached Jahaz, he fought with Israel. Israel, however, put him to the sword and took over his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, but only as far as the Ammonites, because the border was fortified. They said in the scriptures, the scriptures said that Moses put the sword to Sihon. So did Moses put the sword to Sihon? Or did the Most High's power defeat Sihon and his army? See, once you start putting your trust in your weapons, you already lost. But once you put your trust in the Most High and Yahshua, even though you are holding the weapon, the victory still goes to the Most High Yah. And that's what our people have to understand. The Most High is not telling you not to defend yourself. Because when people read the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, they think that's talking about weapons like going to battle. But Paul is talking about when we are pulling down strongholds with this Bible, it is not by anything that is carnal, that the will of man or the physicality of man or anything that flesh and blood can do. It cannot work. We pull down all strongholds only by the power of Yah, only by the power and faith in Yahshua HaMashiach. That's it. Once you put your trust in your gun, once you put your trust in your sword, you done already lost. That's carnal. Because if Yah's not with you, you still gonna lose. Even though you have a gun, even though you have a sword, you still gonna lose the battle. Verse 24. And Israel, however, put him to the sword and took over his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, but only as far as the Ammonites, because their border was fortified. Israel captured all the cities of the Amorites and occupied them, including Heshbon and all its surrounding settlements. Heshbon was the city of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who have fought against the former king of Moab and have taken from him all his land as far as the Arnon. So do you see that our ancestors are fighting with weapons, but the weapons are not getting them the victory? The power of Yah is fighting with them, even though they have a weapon. But it's still the power of Yah. It's still the power of Yahshua. That's what we have to understand. Let's go to Joshua chapter 10 and verse 39 through 40. Let's go to Joshua chapter 10 and verse 39 through 40. And it reads, and he took it, and the king thereof, and all the cities thereof, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed all the souls that were therein. He left none remaining, as he have done to Hebron, so he did to Debir, and to the king thereof, as he have done also to Libnah, and to her king. So Joshua smote all the country of the hills, and of the south, and of the vale, and of the springs, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed, as the Elohim of Israel commanded. So Israel is fighting with weapons. But what is getting them the victory? Is it the weapon? Are the warfare of Israel carnal? Is the sword getting them the victory? Is their physical strength getting them the victory? No. The power of Yah, who is with them, is getting them the victory. Always remember, never put your trust only in weapons. Because if Yah is not with you, you're still going to lose the battle. You can have 100,000 coming at 1,000. If Yah is with the 1,000, the 100,000 gonna lose, even though they have more weapons, because they put their trust in weapons. But the 1,000 put their trust in Yah, even though they also have weapons, because they understand that by the power of Yah we pull down strongholds. When they marched around Jericho, they had no weapons. In the time of Hezekiah, they had no weapons. All they did was sing and praise Yah. And he sent out an angel that killed 187,000. When they marched around Jericho, they gave a shout. By the power of Yah, they needed no weapon. So it's not always weapons that we have to fight in battle with weapons, because Yah is going to always give us the victory if we truly put our trust in him, if we truly put our trust in his son. See, lip service is one thing, but actions is another thing. Lip service is one thing, but actions is another thing. Let's go to when David killed Goliath. This is 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 50. 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 50. And it reads, it says, so David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. Did you just hear this? David threw a sling, a stone from a sling. David had a sling and a stone and hit Goliath in the head. If you believe that David, being a young boy, was that strong to throw a stone and cause it to sink into the head of Goliath, you don't know Yah. David didn't have enough strength to throw a stone that hard to where it sunk in Goliath's head. The Most High also helped David throw that stone. The Most High's power and his might was behind David's arm when he threw the stone. So the victory goes to Yah, who was with David. David didn't need a sword, because David knew the weapons of my warfare are not carnal. I am not going to kill Goliath by my might. I am not going to destroy Goliath by my strength. I am not going to destroy Goliath by this stone itself. But when David prayed to Yah, Yah hearkened to the prayer of David. got behind David and helped David throw a stone that sunk into the skull of Goliath, and he fell to the ground. Then David took a sword and cut off his head. By the power of who? By the power of Yah, people. By the power of Yah. Let's go to Ezekiel 25 and verse 14. Ezekiel 25 and verse 14. This is Ezekiel 25 and verse 14. And it reads, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger." No, our own anger, our own will, our own physical ability. "And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said our Elohim." So we're going to do in Edom according to his will, according to his anger, according to his vengeance. So it's not by our will, people. It's not carnal. This is spiritual. Even right now, we are fighting a spiritual battle, and we have no weapons in our hands, and we are pulling down strongholds right now by the power of Yah. But when you look at European Caucasian people, whether they're in America or wherever our people scattered at, weapons are their forte, because they put their trust in guns and bullets. Even when you look right now, Caucasian people are preparing for war. What are they preparing with? Guns and bullets. Because the weapons of their warfare are carnal. Does that mean you should not get you a weapon? No. Just don't put all your trust like the Caucasian people in your weapons. You pray and ask Yah to give you deliverance. You ask Yah to be with you. You ask Yah, please don't let these people get an advantage over me. I trust you. I'm walking with you. My faith is in you. My faith is in your son. Because once you put your trust in carnal things, you have already lost. Let's go to 1 Maccabees, chapter 3. 1 Maccabees, chapter 3. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 1. This is 1 Maccabees, chapter 3, and verse 1. And it reads, "Then his son Judas, called Maccabees, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him. And so did all they that held with his father. And they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So he got his people great honor and put on a breastplate as a giant and girt his warlike harness about him. And he made battles protecting the host with his sword. With his sword." So did he put his trust in his sword? No, he did not. They prayed to the Most High before they went to battle. And this for all y'all who like to say, well, we can't fight back. They're in captivity fighting the enemy. So how you going to tell the Most High what you can't do? Once you pray to the Most High, once you're walking right, once you're really in tune with him, he will get you the victory even in captivity. But you got to know where the source of power is coming from. You can't believe it's coming from a sword. You can't believe it's coming from a gun. You have already lost. Judas Maccabees and them knew once they prayed to Yah, he got them the victory. Because who they put their trust in? Yah. Not carnal things, not flesh and blood, not things of the earth, not their physical ability, not their strength. They did not put their trust in these things. They put it solely in Yah. Verse 4. "In his acts, he was like a lion and like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. For he pursued the wicked and sought them out and burned up those that vexed his people. Wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand." How did salvation prosper in the hand of Judas Maccabees? Who do salvation come from? Salvation come from Yah. Salvation come from Yah. So they got the victory even in captivity under the time of the Greeks. So how you gonna tell our people we can't fight back? How you gonna tell Israel we can't fight back? Because you go to a scripture in 2 Corinthians where Paul say the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but our ancestors are in captivity right now. As I read 1 Maccabees chapter 3, fighting in captivity with swords. And the Most High still gave them the victory because they didn't put their trust in the sword. They put their trust in Yah. Let's go, family, to Psalms 45. Psalms 44 and verse 5. Psalms 44 and verse 5. This is Psalms 44 and verse 5. And it reads, through thee we will push down our enemies. Through thee we will push down, through who? Through Yah we will push down our enemies. Through thy name we will tread them under that rise up against us. Do y'all see this? They are telling Yah, through thee we win battles. Through thee we get the victory. Through thee is who we put our trust in. Through thee, Lord. Nobody else. You are the source. And our ancestors knew that. That's why you never hear our ancestors saying, my sword should get me the victory. My sword should get me salvation. My sword should destroy my enemies. No, they say the power of our Elohim should get us the victory. Our ancestors knew, family, that the weapons of our warfare, they was never carnal. And we have to understand that the weapons of our warfare, they was never carnal. So always remember, Israel, it doesn't matter if we're in our land. It doesn't matter if we're in captivity. When these people rise up against us and we are walking in Yah and have faith in Yahshua, if we start to fight the battle and Yah is with us, we do not put our trust in the weapons that we are fighting with like the heathen. We put our trust in Yah, who get us salvation and victory over our enemies. And once our people connect with that, instead of connecting and putting trust in guns and swords and bullets, trying to be like the heathen, it's not going to work. You have a relationship with Yah and Yahshua. He made a covenant with you. So you can't think like the nations. You can't think carnal like the nations because they put all their trust in their physical strength. They put all their trust in horses' legs and tanks and helicopters and jets and missiles and bombs. They do. We are not like that, family. So I love y'all. I thank y'all. Pray somebody got some understanding. I pray this help our brothers and sisters understand that it's true. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The weapons of our warfare are by the power of Yah, who pulled down all the strongholds, who get us all our victories, who bring forth salvation to his people. And even when he redeemed you, it would not be by those things which are carnal, but by the power of his son, Yahshua HaMashiach. Salute, family.
Alexander the Greek took the earth like a captain. Killed the king of Persia, caught him slipping like he napping. The whole earth quiet before this man, he had power. Winning all them wars, lift his heart up like a tower. Then he got sick, called his men, split the kingdom. Crimes upon their head, but they multiplied evil. Wicked Israelites made a covenant with heathens. They doing the same thing right now, I can't believe them. Gentiles had them scared, Antiochus took Egypt. Next stop Jerusalem, he about to test the people. They took the showbread, golden altar, and menorah. All of this keep happening, cause we keep breaking Torah. Antiochus went back to his lane, went to celebrate. 2 years later, he put fire to them heaven gates. Burned Jerusalem down, took out women, and he made them slaves. Letter from the king, everybody one people. So if you follow laws that ain't the king's, you better leave them. But if we leave our laws, then our God gon' leave us. Many Israelites went to Father when they heeded, sacrificing swine on the altar, stopping us from doing the burnt and the drink offering, profaning the Sabbath, knowing that it's gonna cost us. If we don't do these laws, it gon' cost us. But the spirit of Maccabees, if you wanna keep these laws and commandments, follow me. It's the spirit of Maccabees. If you wanna keep these laws and commandments, follow me. Gay, hey, ain't no time for compromise. Need to show thyself a man. The heathens doing the same tricks, they about to do it all again. We going to war on Shabbat, tell the heathens we ain't playing. If you serious about them laws, out together we can stand. Don't be scared of the multitude, he go intervene. It ain't about the numbers, about power from Shemaim. Allah, Allah, Bahadam, Allah with the Malakim. Power in the blood, power with the mighty king. Back to the story, they won war after war. Got the land back, but the land was so torn. Ash upon their heads and they even ripped their gum. Got the land back, but the land was so torn. So they dedicated the sanctuary, built new altars. It might not be perfect, but we still keeping our culture. Go get that menorah, put them lights up in that temple. About to give them praise for everything we done been through. The feast of dedication.
Israel, we rising up. In the words of my beloved twin sister August Dreams, thank y'all for coming to the Lions Den with the CUC family, my FOPE family, and big salute to my elders at Nazarene Hebrew Institute of Technology, and big salute to the mighty nation of Israel. Your redemption draw nigh, family. Let's get it. And your brother K. Judah wanna say shalom and big salute.